Hello, everybody. Welcome to. It's not week 4 of the Power Rankings. It is, in fact, week 6 of the Power Rankings. I messed up there, but that is fine. Already messing up, and we just started. My name's Caden. This is Reese, as always. And yeah, we're going to try to get through this quickly because I have to leave at 4, and it is currently 2:49 as I am speaking. So let's try to get through this quickly, eh? Starting off, PI. And this one might surprise some people, but I actually have the Robins in dead last. And here's why. One, they're 0-3. Two, they forfeited at least 2 games now. Plus, they had to reschedule their latest game due to lack of players. And it really sucks that if, like, one player's gone, they just have to forfeit. So, with that in mind, I think I had to put them at number 9. So, yeah, that's why Robbinsdale is in dead last in the PI division. It really sucks. We don't like pitting people or putting teams in last place, but somebody's got to take the fall, and I'm sorry, but right now it's got to be Robbinsdale. Just lack of players. Really is as simple as that. Moving on, we've got St. Paul Humboldt Hawks. They are 0-4 with a -27 goals differential. And yeah, they move up a spot because of the whole Robbinsdale thing. Not much to say about them. I mean, they've only scored 3 goals on the season. And the only reason why they're not number 9 is because what I said about Robbinsdale. I mean, Robbinsdale has a lack of players. St. Paul Humboldt doesn't have that same problem. That we know of, anyway. So, yeah. Moving on, we've got Minneapolis. Now, are they 0-2? I swear they... I might have messed up the record there.
Raynard lost to... They beat Humboldt, I know that.
Yeah, so I did mess up the record.
Website shows 1-3.
Okay, so I did mess up the record.
Lost to Raynard, lost to Rochester, lost to Anoka, postponed against Maple Grove, and won against Humboldt.
Okay, so I did mess up the record. That's fine.
Yes.
I do that quite a bit. Either way, they're moving down a spot. I forget what loss moved them down. Because they beat Humboldt.
Anoka, maybe?
Yeah, they lost to Anoka, and what was the score of that one?
5-0, or 6-0.
6-0. I mean, that's close, but not really. You know, so... yeah. Moving on, Anoka Hennepin. 3-3. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. And yeah, they move up a spot because they beat Minneapolis. Simple as that. Plus, they've got a decent record, decent goals differential, and by decent, I mean -15 isn't exactly great when you have a 3-3 record, but it's okay. Now, these next 3 might surprise, these next 3 might surprise people, because in 5th, Dakota United. 1, they're 2-5 with a -27. Yes, they've played Brainerd 3 times.
They've also played Maple Grove twice.
They played Maple Grove. Wait, did I mess up the record for Dakota United 2 then? Because they also lost to South Suburban, so they must be 2-6.
2-6, yep.
I have it on my notes app too.
Maple Grove, Brainerd, South Suburban, Maple Grove again, Brainerd again, and Brainerd also again.
Okay, so I did mess up the record.
Brainerd
That's
3
fine.
times, Maple Grove twice, South Suburban once.
Yeah, so in that case, they're 2-6. And yeah, I mean, it's not been a good season. But here's the thing: they haven't played many of the teams below them. They beat South Suburban once. They're 1-1 against South Suburban, and their other win came against
Humboldt.
Humboldt. So they haven't played Anoka. They haven't played Minneapolis. They were going to play Robbinsdale, but that got postponed.
They play Anoka on February 4th, and they play Minneapolis on February 11th.
There you go.
And what I am looking at right now, I do not see Robbinsdale anywhere on the schedule.
Wow.
And I would think the coaches would have at least put out something when the game gets rescheduled.
Oh, I would guarantee it. Yeah. Yeah, I would guarantee it. Yeah, with that, let's just move on to fourth, which is the South Suburban Flyers moving down a spot. They're 3-5, again, not the best record. Not the worst goals differential for being 3-5. They're -12. Yeah, we had to move them down after this after their loss to the number 3 team. It really is as simple as that. This is still a very good team. Definitely a spoiler team going into playoff or going into state. But here's the thing: after that conference loss, they're probably going to end up getting the 5th seed. Dakota United, if this goes the way I'm thinking it will, might get the 4th seed, and we might get a Dakota United South Suburban first round matchup in state. So, yeah, that's how I'm seeing things going right now. With that, let's move on to third. I forgot to animate it, but yeah, the Rochester Raiders. I mean, hey, they've looked pretty good. They just beat South Suburban by a reasonable margin, 9-3. So they move up a couple spots. They're 3-2. They've got a plus-minus goals differential. They've got nothing, 0 goals differential. Their losses to Brainerd and Maple Grove, the only 2 teams above them. And as I said, they had a pretty good win against South Suburban. So, yeah, I mean, this Rochester team is definitely a good team. Spoiler, possibly, we'll see what happens come state. But, yeah, I mean, this Rochester team definitely has some really... they've got a shot, but at the same time, not really, because the top 2 teams are just on another level. And speaking of the top 2 teams, I mean, Maple Grove's in second. They had a close loss to Brainerd. What was it, 7-4?
7-4, yeah.
The only team to score more than 2 goals on Brainerd this season. The only team to keep it relatively close with Brainerd this season is this Maple Grove team. And, I mean, I don't have full stats because they haven't been... They haven't been doing the recaps as of late. So, if I had to guess, with their games against Brainerd and a couple other teams that weren't recapped out of the way, Lincoln probably leads the league or the state in goals. Because what I've got him down with is 16 goals and 5 assists. Is what I've got him down with. And I'm sure he's got more because of the non-recapped games.
And this is after the Brainerd game?
Yes, this does include the Brainerd game because Brainerd Dispatch has it.
Yeah. I was just gonna pull that up now and see. Okay, so Maple Grove, Ben Pfeiffer from Evan Bartlett at 12:40.
Yep.
Bartlett at 2:05. Lincoln at 11:48 from Bartlett. And then Lincoln again at 7:18, and that's all she wrote from that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing
25
about
shots though. That's a good showing.
that's a really
offensively.
good showing. Yeah, against the Brainerd defense, the Brainerd team. Oh my god, yeah, that is a great showing. How many shots did we get in the state championship last year? What was it, like 13, 14?
I thought you said 18.
18 sounds about right. It wasn't much, considering it was an overtime game.
Yeah,
A certain someone
and
between the pipes
40.
really helped us out.
Yeah.
God, Tommy was so good in that game.
It just sucks how that ended though. That was garbage.
Yeah. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now we're talking about this season and number 1 Brainerd Warriors. I mean, come on, they're 10-0. Like, they're 10-0. Aiden Olson's got 18 goals on the season with 12 apples. I mean, let me just go down the line here. Josh Pence, 16 goals, 7 apples. Landon Brotherton, 8 goals, 12 apples. Caleb Kieran, 6 goals, 12 apples. Summer Headley, 7 goals, 13 apples. Owen Olson, 6 goals, 10 apples. Chloe Van Norman, 1 goal, 1 apple. James Martin, 9 goals, 4 apples. Aiden Olson, 18 goals, 12 apples. Eric Fordyce, 8 goals, 7 apples. Anthony Slip, 2 apples. Henry Rivers, 2 goals, 2 apples. Logan Cargill, 3 apples. Aiden Fordyce, 1 goal. Robert Cooley, 1 goal, 1 apple. And Andrew Cargill has 77 saves and 9 goals against. That's an .895 save percentage. So, I mean, all that to say, like, most of the roster is getting in on the scoring. And Aiden Olson is... I think I said this at the start of the season. There are, I think, 3 or 4 players... Because I give, like... So, what I do is, for state tournaments and at the start of the season, I give different players overall ratings. I don't say their names to... But I put them in AI and ask for power rankings and all that, right? ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. Either way, I don't give it the players' names. I just say their number. And, like, I'll say number 12, 91 overall, right? There are 3 players that I've given a 99 overall to. And honestly, at this point, I'm thinking of bumping Aiden Olson up to a 100 overall. Because this kid is insane. And that's not to shade on either of the other 2 99 overalls in Jay Bama or Lincoln Searcy. Or Andrew Cargill, for that matter. I forgot about him. I put him at a 99, too. But yeah, I mean, this Brainerd team is really, really good. It'll be very tough for anybody to beat them, but if anybody can, it'll be Maple Grove. So, yeah. That's all she wrote for the PI division. Anything else you want to say, Reese, about...
Nope.
All right. that was quick.
I'm just typing in absolute nonsense now into this homework. I don't care. I can do it as many times as I want, but I'm not redoing 40 questions.
The wonders of college.
Yeah, it's certainly something.
Moving on we got through that pretty quickly. So hopefully we can get through the CI division pretty quickly too. Moving on, flipping it on over to the CI division. At 20th, we've got Minnetonka Wayzata. I mean, they haven't won a game. I went to the wrong notes. I mean, they're 0-8, dash 117. There's not much to say about Minnetonka. I mean, there really isn't anything I can say about them. And I don't want to be mean, which is another reason why I don't really want to say anything, because I don't want to be mean. And even saying that's a little bit mean, but, like, I don't know. I just don't have much to say about really any of the bottom 5 teams. So, with that, moving on, White Bear Lake, they're down 1 spot from the last time we did this. Uh, they also haven't won a game. It'll be interesting to see if White Bear Lake plays Minnetonka Wayzata. The reason it would be interesting is because isn't because they're both, well, it kind of is because they're both 0-8, 0-9, but at the same time it would be very interesting simply because how do I say this? Both of the teams haven't had much success, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's more of a which conference is better between the Northeast and
Southwest.
Southwest. Because Minnetonka Wayzata, yes, they've got New Prague and Mankato, but I'm starting to doubt the Southwest power, because we all know the Mankato and Dakota score, but we'll get into that later. I do think the Southwest is still better than the Northeast, but between the Southwest and Northwest, it's kind of a toss-up. So, with that, moving on, we've got 18 Robbinsdale. Again, they're 2-7 with a dash 102. They're in that Southwest. But then we all saw the Owatonna score, and we're like, oh my god, the Southeast is extremely good then. Yeah, they still move up a spot simply because they're 2-7 while White Bear Lake's 0-9. Not much else to say. Moving on, Owatonna. Now, they're moving down 3 spots simply because of their record. I mean, they're 2-7. They're 0-7 in their conference. They're 2-0 non-conference. But here's the thing: their non-conference games came against Robbinsdale and Minnetonka. There is a big, big gap between 18 and 17. A 19-2 gap, in fact. So, yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think I know what team's going to win the consolation bracket if there is one in the playoffs. I think it's going to be Owatonna, if you can't tell. Although Anoka Hennepin will give them a run for their money. Because Anoka's been keeping games competitive lately. Moving on, North Tartan. Another Northeastern team. They're 2-6. Haven't shown much promise. The only promising thing that we've seen out of them is that it is their scores against Stillwater. Because they what was their last game? 6-2 against Stillwater? 6-1? 6-2?
Yes.
I think it was 6-2.
6-2. I mean, yeah, I truly, but I'm sure it's not that hard to tell, but the Northeast and the Southwest are the weakest divisions or conferences in the CI division.
Yeah.
Because they make up 4 of the bottom 5, 20 through 16.
Yep.
The only exception being Owatonna at 17.
Yeah. Which I have been debating moving Owatonna up, but at the same time, like, they're 2-7, -62. While North Tartan, they're 2-6 with only a -21. Like, they're keeping games competitive. Owatonna isn't against very, very difficult Southeast opponents.
Yeah, I mean,
They are the St. Paul
6-2
Johnson.
against Stillwater, 6-2 against, or North Tartan 6-2 against Stillwater on the 29th, 8-5 against Moundsview on the 20th, 9-6 against Stillwater on the 8th, and then 11-5 against St. Cloud. And then we don't know the game against Moundsview on the 22nd.
I know they lost it. I don't remember the score. Or wait, on the 22nd, wasn't that the one that was canceled due to weather?
Might have been. Let me check.
Because they had a game. Did they have a game on the 20th, 2 days prior,
Yes.
against Moundsview?
Yes.
Yep. So that one was canceled due to weather. So.
Oh, it was?
Yep. Or at least I assume so. It got taken down off the Moundsview Game Changers, so I assume it was canceled due to weather.
Yeah, well, if it was, I do not. Oh, it probably was because everything got postponed
Yeah.
or rescheduled. Doesn't say on the website though, so I don't know. I guess that's something to search around for and ask around or something.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on, we've got Centennial Spring Lake Park at 15th. They're 3-6, -30. Again, they've been keeping most games competitive, but at the same time, like, they're 3-6. You know, like, we can't really put them much higher. I almost just started singing "Higher" by Creed because I've had that song stuck in my head for a good 2 hours now, but that doesn't matter. Can you take me higher? Sorry.
Oh yeah, it's just another reason to draw out this video and make it as long as possible.
Hey, it's actually the opposite. I'm trying to keep it short.
No.
Yeah, Centennial Spring Lake Park. I don't have much to say about them. I haven't seen them play. But after that loss to Anoka, we can't put them any higher because Anoka's next. They're moving up 3 spots because of that win against Centennial. And it was a pretty good win, was it not? Was it
7-2.
7-2? 7-2. So I mean, yeah, they beat Centennial. Like, yeah, it'll be it again. If there is a consolation bracket, which I assume there will be, it'll be interesting to see if Anoka and Owatonna play each other. That would be a very interesting game. I don't know if they will or not, but I do hope they will. Because that would be a very, very interesting game. And yeah, I've got nothing else to say. Moving on, we've got the Moundsview Irondale Roseville Rams. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. They're 4-4, -8. Nothing much to say. I mean, again, they're Moundsview. It's Moundsview, you know? I mean, they're the Rams. They have a decent offense. They have not the best defense, but they've got a pretty good goalie back there. Problem is they're 4-4 because, yeah. And I just want to say, in their last game against Centennial, I believe,
they're not scoring more goals than their opponents. That's why they're 4-4, and that's also
Yes.
why Minnetonka Wise is 0-8 with a -117. Is they're giving up more than they're scoring.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Anyway, yeah, in their last game, they were down 4-3 going into the third. They won that game 12-6. In other words, a monster third period. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing really much to say. So moving on to number 12, we've still got the Yotes, 3-3, perfectly balanced as all things should be. Plus 15, again, like I don't have much to say. I'm trying to keep it short, as I said at the beginning of the video. They're 3-3.
I just gotta see more
Yeah,
against St. Cloud, Moorhead, and Maple Grove. I just gotta see more. Like, yeah, beating Mounds View, Anoka, and Wiper's cool and all, but like, you you gotta beat the teams in your own conference.
yeah,
And those three teams I mentioned, St. Cloud, Maple Grove, and Moorhead, are not in this 20 through 11.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, Moorhead you'll see shortly on this slide, but yeah, there's just like I
But I
I
guess the good thing is they've only given up 2 goals in their last 2 games.
yes, but again, who are those games against?
Anoka and White Bear.
Exactly. So it's yes, it's a difficult schedule. Hopefully, well, we'll see if they can get one back against Moorhead, St. Cloud, um, maybe even Maple Grove. You know, who knows? Moving on, I said you would see Moorhead here. Yes, they're four. Well, I've got them at 4-3 on my notes. It says 4-2 there, but I think they're 4-3.
Yep. Because they
Um,
beat Tartan 8-0, and that's not in on their thing. So the website says 3-3. Yeah, the website's all
yeah, I've
messed
also
up.
got them as plus 18 on my thing. Oh, you know why? This is before we got the Maple Grove game. I made this
Yeah.
slideshow before we got the Maple Grove game score, so that's
Yeah, I
why.
just found that out this morning or afternoon. So
So plus 18, 4-3. Um, yeah, it's Moorhead. You know, I mean, yes, they've got Aiden Lucian.
it's the
Yes,
potatoes.
it's the potatoes. I've got so
Oh,
that's so funny that you mentioned that. I've got an AI social media app called Aspect. It's really good actually. Um and I use my Everything Minnesota adapted account on there as well. And all of the AIs root for Moorhead simply because they think it's the funniest name. They love the Moorhead Spuds. One of the AIs
the
messaged me
random
saying,
stuff that comes out of my mouth sometimes.
one of them messaged me saying, I'm rooting for them because they're named after a potato. Go potatoes. Go Spuds. All that. It's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, it's Moorhead. Again, you've got Aiden Luchin. Is it Luchin or Lucian?
Lucian.
Is it Lucian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's Moorhead. They're a pretty good team, I think. They're a pretty good team for a North team. I'll say that. I think they will have some trouble when they have to go down south to make it to state, but we'll see.
I mean, the bright side is they already beat their win total from last year.
That is true. That is absolutely true. Moving on, we've got the Southern Stars. They're 2-6. Um, they moved down a spot. Ooh, God, wow, that yawn came out of nowhere. Anyways, yeah, they're 2-6. They're in the Southwest, and I think this is a sleeper team. I really do. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to make it far in the playoffs because they're going to have to face a Southeastern team.
Hang on. You said they're 2-6.
Am I missing something here?
3-5 because they beat Robbinsdale early on in the season, and then they have 2 wins against Minnetonka.
That's right. I don't know where I got 2-6 from.
Probably the South Suburban and South Washington losses.
Either way, whatever. I think this is a we'll have to wait and see team. Because I do think if they face Moorhead, I think they would win. At the same time, I do think it would be close. So, yeah, we'll see. Again, wait and see team for sure. Moving on, we've got the St. Cloud Crush. They suffered their first loss of the year just the other day against Maple Grove. They're still 6-1 though. Sorry. Wow, I am tired. They're still 6-1. They've got a plus 63 goals differential. I mean, yeah, St. Cloud has been really good. And then they ran into Maple Grove and they lost 10-5, which is still a decent result against a really good team. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what they can do come playoff time again. They should get a home playoff game. I'm pretty sure they've clinched a home playoff game. We'll get into the standings later. Yeah, moving on. We've got Maple Grove. Again, they're 6-1. They've got a plus 51. They're above St. Cloud because they beat St. Cloud. Simple as that. You're above a team because you beat a team. Really as simple as that. Now, moving on. It pains me to put them here, but moving down a lot of spots, I had to put Mankato here. I mean, I watched their game against Dakota United, and one thing I will say against their game about their game against Dakota United is that is the most blocked shots I have seen in a floor hockey game. There was a ton of blocked shots, and I give both teams a lot of credit for those blocked shots because that could be big. If somebody has a big big defensive shooter, a blocked shot saves the day sometimes. So yeah, I mean, credit to both teams on blocking the shots. That's huge. It really is big. But at the same time, you still lost the game by 2 goals. And we had to move them down below Dakota United, which I'm going to show here. Yes, they're not 1-4. They're, what are they, 2-5 now?
Something like that, yeah. But
I've got them at 2-6. Go ahead.
Here's what I will say though, and you can debate me on this, but if Mankato and the Hawks were to play again, or if Mankato and like a top 5 team were to play again, I do think the Knights would probably beat the Hawks. They would maybe beat South Suburban. If they don't, they keep it close. I think they probably lose to Lakeville. They probably lose to South Washington. And then they keep it close against New Prague. which we have not seen those two play each other yet. And I do not know if we well, actually, speaking of Mankato and South Washington, uh, February 2nd in Mankato.
That should be a good
So
game.
there we go.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll see. Like, it's just after their loss, I can't put them above Dakota United anymore. So,
And that's fair. That's absolutely fair. I mean, I'm not in disagreement with you, but
yeah.
yeah, that's fair. You beat a team, you should be above them.
But if they played again, I think it would be very close. It could go either way. It very well could go either way. But yeah, I mean, we'll see if the time comes. We'll see what Mankato and Dakota United will do. I don't suspect they will play again unless if they play in either a consolation round or maybe even the semifinals of state, but we'll see. We'll see. With that, let's move on to the top 5 teams. Starting off with number 5, undefeated Stillwater Matamidi. Now, I do believe that there is only one northern team that would cause a Mankato, a New Prague, a South Washington, one of those really good teams trouble, and that's Stillwater. I think the Stillwater team's really good. We all saw their score against Maple Grove. What was it, 7-3, 8-3,
8-3.
8-3? That's a good win over a good team. And Stillwater Matamidi, they're undefeated in the North, but again, it's the North, which in recent years has been worse than the South. So, with that in mind, I do believe that this is a top 5 team in the state, and I think they have the power to do some damage come state tournament time. They were the runner-ups
Okay,
last year.
so
Just remember that. Go ahead, Reese.
I'm looking at their scores from last year against the Southern teams. Like, this was before they
Yeah,
confined it into 4 divisions, and it was just the North and South. But Burnsville, Farmington, Lakeville, 10-5 win. South Suburban, 12-4 win. South Washington, 6-5 win. Um, Lost to Mankato, 11-9. Lost to New Prague, 9-4. And then, just a 20-3 win over Owatonna and an
well,
8-1 win over the Southern Stars. But you get the point. They can hang with the South.
yes.
I mean, they
Although
made the state championship last year.
you got to
So
remember though, they lost a lot of
they
players.
did lose a lot.
So yeah, I mean, come state tournament time, we'll see what Stillwater Matamidi can do. But yeah, they can absolutely hang with a Southern powerhouse. Will they beat a Southern powerhouse? I don't think they have the power to beat like a South Washington, a New Prague, but I do think they have the power to hang with them. Like keep it close at like a 3-4 goal game. So yeah. With that, moving on, 4th in the CI division, we've got South Suburban. I've got them at 7-2 with a plus 35. They do move down a spot from the last time we did this. Yeah, it's South Suburban. They did have that big loss, the 10-0 loss. Who was that against?
South Washington.
Yeah, they had that big loss to South Washington. And that does concern me. But
That was a complete flip of the script. And that's what happens when you go from your home venue to the away venue. And yes, that does make an absolute difference.
Yes, I do think that was part of it, but at the same time, I think there's a possibility, and I'm not saying this is what happened, but I do think there is a possibility that the Jets were missing someone, or maybe South Washington was missing someone in the game prior. It's a possibility. I'm just throwing out possibilities. And that's why they're still so high up. Because if everybody's there, they have shown that they can hang with the top dogs. So, I mean, that's why they're fourth. I think they are a very, very good team. We'll see where that gets them. Simple as that. With that, moving on, third in the CI division, we've got the Blazing Cats moving up 2 spots from the last time we did this. Yes, they are 6-3 with a plus 90. But here's the thing: their losses, except for the most recent one against South Washington, have all been good losses. They've all been very, very close. That 9-8 overtime loss to South Washington earlier in the season. I believe they lost to South Suburban way early on.
9-7.
Again, very good loss. 2-goal loss. Their wins have either been blowouts or a 5-1 win against Dakota United on Hockey Day. Do they have any, close wins?
No, they've all been 10 plus.
Except for Dakota United.
Correct. The second one.
So that's what concerns me the most about the Blazing Cats. In a close game, can they just sneak by and pull out the win? In a close game. 1-2 goal game. I think they can. Like against the Stillwater Matamina, I think they can pull out a 2-goal win. But at the same time, we need to see it. We haven't seen that happen yet. So yeah, really is as simple as that. With that, moving on to second place, moving up 2 spots, we've got the Thunderbolts. South Washington, again, always here. They are a really, really good team. I watched them play when they came to play Dakota United. And they're a good team. They have some really good players. Jordan Today and Logan Curtis. My God, Logan Curtis is he's McDavid out there. He can skate laps around players. Run laps around players, I guess. I can't really say skate laps around players because, as far as I know, he's on sneakers, not rollerblades. But yeah, the Thunderbolts have had a very, very good team, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Who was their one loss to?
South Suburban, first game of the season.
That's right. First game of the season, exactly. That was a long time ago. Now that they beat South Suburban again 10-0. Yeah, I think this is a very good team, definitely a state championship threat. And with that, we have reached the top team in the CI division with a 7-0 record and a plus 52 goals differential. It's New Prague. I mean, again, New Prague, they've ran the table so far. Can they continue running the table? We'll see. What can they... After seeing what Dakota did to Mankato. After seeing what Dakota did to Mankato, I'm not sure anymore. I've lost faith in the Southwest. At the same time, they're undefeated. We can't move them down. Until they lose a game, they're going to stick in this top spot. But if they lose a game, it's going to be to, South Washington or South Suburban, Lakeville, Burnsville, Farmington. Potentially even Stillwater Matamina. We don't know what Stillwater Matamina can do against a southern team. Maybe even Mankato. Who knows? Mankato could pull out a win against New Prague. We'll have to wait and see. So, Yeah, with that, we're not ending the video quite yet because I want to go through a standings check with one full week to go in the season. So let's take a moment to look at the standings going into the final weeks of the season. You can pause and read, but basically, if a team has an S at the front of their name, they've punched their ticket to the state tournament. If they have a Z, they've clinched a first round bye. If they have a Y, they've clinched a home playoff game. X clinched playoffs, and E eliminated. So, with that out of the way, let's move on to the standings check. First off, we've got the Northeast. Stillwater Matamidi has ran the table. They have clinched a state tournament spot. They're 7-0 in conference play, 9-0 in overall. They've clinched a state tournament spot. They have punched their ticket to the state tournament. The only other team to clinch a spot in the playoffs in the Northeast is the Rams. They've clinched a home playoff game, and they control their destiny. They can potentially get a first round bye and face a Southeastern powerhouse in the second round of the playoffs, and the winner of that game will go on to the state tournament. Centennial Spring Lake Park, North Tartan, White Bear Lake, they're all fighting. White Bear Lake, if they lose one more game, they are eliminated. And yeah, that's really all I've got for the Northeast. Moving on to the Northwest. Starting off, we have Maple Grove Osseo Park. Clinched a home playoff game. They haven't clinched a first round bye yet or state tournament yet. But they control their own destiny. We'll see what they do with it. St. Cloud and Moorhead, they have both clinched a playoff game. Not necessarily a home playoff game, but they have clinched a playoff game. They will be playing in the playoffs. STMA and Anoka are still fighting for that last spot. But if STMA wins their next game and Anoka loses, which are they playing each other in their next games?
Let me check here. Northwest STMA. Let's go to Anoka's. Yes.
Okay, so
and it's at Anoka.
If the Coyotes win that game, they will clinch a playoff spot and eliminate Anoka Hennepin. If I'm correct about playoffs. I'm not 100% sure, but how I believe playoffs will go. I should have made a slide for that, but I'll just talk about it in the outro. Moving on to the Southeast. South Washington and South Suburban have both clinched a first round bye. Now, they haven't clinched a state tournament spot. Each team can go 7-1, and that would take us to the tiebreakers. Now, South Washington controls their own destiny. If they win their next non-conference game, which I think they have one non-conference game remaining, they will clinch the Southeast. If they lose, it goes to a coin flip. Assuming both teams go 7-1 in conference.
That's got to be the stupidest thing ever.
It really is.
Flip.
Yeah.
It should go by
goals differential.
Head-to-head record.
Well, head-to-head, then goals differential.
Goals differential, then overall record, then a coin flip.
I think overall record before goals differential. But yeah, Anyway, moving on. Lakeville, Burnsville, Farmington has clinched a home playoff game, which means they are locked in at third in the Southeast. Dakota United cannot overtake them. Now, if somehow Dakota United loses to Owatonna, Owatonna has a chance at making the playoffs. But it's still very unlikely. With that out of the way, let's move on to the Southwest. And the Southwest is pretty set in stone. The winner of New Prague and Mankato goes on to the state tournament, while the loser will get a first round bye in a home playoff game. And the Southern Stars and Robins, they have both clinched the playoffs, but they have not necessarily clinched a home playoff game. Likely the Southern Stars will get that home playoff game. And Minnetonka Wayzata, I believe they are the only team here that has been officially eliminated from the playoffs, if my theory about how playoffs works is correct. So, with that, I want to quickly talk about how I believe the playoffs will work, and then we will wrap up this video. So, basically how I believe the playoffs will work, I did not put a slide for this, but how I believe the playoffs will work is, so let's say these standings stay, right? Dakota United, 4th in the Southeast, will play at Chanhassen or wherever they play their games at for the Southern Stars, right? I think that's in Shakopee for floor hockey. So
I have the home gyms. Do you want me to look it up?
No, you don't have to.
Well, I'm already.
Okay, then you might as well.
South Wash, Minnetonka, Mankato, New Prague. Shakopee.
It is Shakopee. So, Dakota United will head to Shakopee to face the Southern Stars. The winner of that game will move on to the second round of the playoffs, where they will either face second in the Northeast or second in the Northwest, I believe. For if it's this game, I believe it will be second in the Northwest, which will likely end up being St. Cloud. And you can just do that for the rest of them. So Robbinsdale will face Lakeville Burnsville Farm. Oh God, Robbinsdale will face the Blazing Cats.
Oh no. Oh dear.
STMA versus Centennial, and then North Tartan versus Moorhead at Moorhead. So, yeah, that's how I believe the playoffs will work. And, yeah, with that, let's wrap up the video. If you need to contact me, you can contact me at everythingminnesotaadapted@gmail.com, or on X, formerly known as Twitter, at allmnadapted, or on Facebook Messenger. I accept those messages too. Facebook Messenger, Minnesota, Everything Minnesota Adapted. You can contact Reese at his Instagram on North Star Adaptive. He does a great job over there. Yeah. And with that, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're getting close to 40 subscribers, so yeah, and I will also link my personal channel in the description. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video, and I always have to do the Markiplier outro. Bye-bye!